Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is a fantastic strategy that I like to use with children to help encourage children to communicate. It's called Creating Opportunities for Communication, and it's basically exactly as it sounds. It simply means setting up situations in the environment that encourage our child to communicate. I see lots of children in my practice who are very good at getting what they want and what they need without actually communicating. And I think as parents, we become so great at recognizing our children's signs that we begin to sort of anticipate everything that they may want or need. And before we even realize we're doing it, we've actually removed the need for our child to communicate with us. So what I wanted to do is just give some ideas of what you might be able to do in your environment at home, or perhaps out and about, maybe in a playground situation or a park situation, that might encourage your child to begin to understand that process of communication. Now, the most important thing to remember about this technique is that it only works if your child is motivated by what you might be wanting them to communicate about. So we're talking about your child's motivators and whatever they might be. So that might be things like bubbles, it might be trains, it might be DVDs, it might even be food. But the most important thing to take away from this is that your child really won't communicate for something that they don't want. So we need to think about, okay, what do they want and how can we use this motivator to encourage the child to communicate with us? So there's lots of things we can do. One of my favorite things to do is to use these clear plastic containers. So they look exactly like this. So in this clear plastic container, I have a train, which is often a toy that a lot of children are motivated by. They like to play with trains. So what I've done is I've put it in this clear plastic container with the lid on, and what I would do is I would give this to my child. More often than not, the child won't be able to open the container, so therefore what we've done is we've created an opportunity where that child has to seek out some assistance from yourself or from another person. So what we can do with this clear plastic container is encourage the child to perhaps ask for help, or maybe sign for help if they're not talking. Maybe they might be using a picture system, so we could get them to use the help hand picture card to ask for help to open. Or we may even look at getting them to request for the train. So we might ask them to perhaps say the word train, sign the word train, or perhaps give us a picture of a train. And what we've done is we've used this motivator that our child likes, and we've created that need for the child to communicate with us because we've made it a little bit more challenging for them to access what they really want. The other great toy that I find works really well are bubbles. So again, you've got bubbles with the lid on really tight. You could perhaps give these to your child and just sit back and wait. More often than not, the child will try to open the bubbles themselves. Generally, they can't open. I have had some occasions where children are extremely strong and they've managed to open the bubbles by themselves. But quite often, again, they're going to have to request assistance. What they might do is they might grab your hand and put it on top of the bubbles. But what you can do then is really pause and wait and see if that child will perhaps say the word help or say the word bubbles. Once again, they might sign the word help, they might sign the word bubbles, or you may need to help them sign the word help or sign the word bubbles. They, again, if they're using a picture system or even a iPad system device, you might encourage them to hand you over the picture for bubbles, or help them actually push the picture that might be on the iPad to indicate that they want bubbles as well. So another really good motivator I find for most children. Other opportunities could be things like DVDs. A lot of children like DVDs, namely Thomas. So what you could do is give them their favourite DVD case, but you might not have the DVD inside. So therefore, you've once again created that need for them to come and seek assistance to actually ask for the DVD to play. Other opportunities might be if you're out at a park and they enjoy going on the swing, you might push them a few times on the swing, and then you might just stop and wait and see if you can encourage your child to ask for more or ask for swing. These are all situations where, once again, your child needs to be motivated. They won't communicate if they're not motivated. So really think about what is the biggest motivator for your child. Some children, this may be food. So again, you could look at perhaps using those clear plastic containers, and you could put some of their favourite food in the container, and you could once again give them the container and wait and encourage them to ask for the food or ask for help or ask to open the container to get what they want. This sort of strategy might seem like it could be a little bit tough at times, and there are times where children may get upset, and obviously you don't want to distress your child, but what we're talking about is really just creating that need for communication, setting up those situations where you're basically in a way sabotaging the environment so they can't get what they want all the time. You're going to pick your moments when you use this strategy. You're obviously not going to use this strategy if your child's particularly upset or tired for that day. And you also need to be obviously in the right frame of mind to use that strategy, because it does require a little bit of persistence. But I promise you that by creating these needs for your child to communicate, you're going to really increase that likelihood for your child to understand the process of communication, and for your child to really understand that they have that power to control their environment using communication. So give it a go, see how you go with it. There's more information on my website as well, with some more ideas of how to use this strategy. But there are a couple of my favourites that I have seen work really, really successfully. And I will check in with you again soon. Bye.